All right. What's up, Kansas City? Peace and power to the people. I'm B. Michael here, also known as Big Dog from Yahoo. Shifting paradigms, we do first Sundays in the Vineyard at 4301 East 43rd Street with the Vineyard Neighborhood Association. This upcoming month, we're featuring our presenter, Jeff Bbetta Bowlin. That's
Without the G.
Without the G. What's good, my guy? How you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be here. Blessed to be in this, given this opportunity.
Awesome, man. So you're telling me this is like a first time event for you in this matter, right?
It is.
Okay.
This journey has been interesting. I, as a young kid, have been interested in learning. And I've always been an avid reader. And I was fortunately blessed to be in a family that created that access when we had very age. So as it moves to this point, I always find myself having a lot to say with on deaf ears. And so I wanted to give it to, or create a platform where I can give it and then allow us as a community to then be able to discuss, create consensus that ultimately leads to solutions. And if we implement these things now, I think that we have a better opportunity to create a better future for our youth. And so I wrote a book, Walking in Quicksand. The quicksand represents the invisible barriers that slow us down. Sometimes we wonder why we cannot get ahead. Some days we feel that every day is the same. And in my journey, based on my pathology, which is from the beginning, and if everyone is allowing themselves to go back to the beginning, they then will see what I am trying to present, because we are born in the quicksand. And I use it as when one dies, one is born, and when one is born, someone dies, which equates to trauma. And we are born inside of trauma, even as we are shaping our ideology. The ideology for me is last, whereas in the beginning and out of birth, we have normalized dysfunction so much that we have misplaced certain elements, and we have created a toxic soup that we've been eating for generations. And even I had to use the mirror to look at myself, to hold myself accountable, observing and being a part of my family dynamic and seeing the dysfunction, having shared trauma with my family, having my own individual trauma with my family, with myself, creates and shapes that spectrum of characteristics that we actually live through on a daily basis. Because of trauma, creates bipolar, manic depression, schizophrenia, anxiety, isolation, and addiction. And that is who we are dealing with now. Behaviorally, we have become the word, which, if we are to identify it, which is my premise, we cannot fix what we fail to acknowledge. So if one never questions, challenges, or examines their current life understanding, how do they know for certain that life understanding cannot grow? So I have put together an idea that works congruently. It all works the same. Each one of these are individual books. However, when you look at it in a sense of this is what we've been ingesting for years. And then now we are the ideology. We are the religion. We are the political group. We are the sport group. We are the material group.
And are you saying like that's the aim? That's the aim to become that?
No, that is who we become.
Okay.
And the goal is to allow yourself in a 360. I'm a 360 guy, so there's always an origin. It's like who, what, why, where, when, how, and then cause and effect. Okay. The cause and effect is the creation of the character that you uphold. Okay. So knowing that we have become religious, political, sport, material, I would like us to actually look at these things, recreate the church, born and raised in the church. My uncle ministered Pentecostal church in Leavenworth, Kansas, 40, 50 years. My grandmother was a pastor. My mother ministered to music, gospel music, the love of my life. And I myself am very versed in the historicity of religion as well. So these are sensitive, substantive, layered, nuanced topics that I want to be able to create the discussion that elevates people's mindset. And so the quicksand is anytime you hear the police, someone just jumped in a little deeper. Some of us are neck deep, some of us are chest high, some of us are waist deep, some of us are knee high, some of us are ankle high. And I always say those that are ankle high, be careful because you could have went in head first.
I appreciate that. I'd like to get more local with you though. In that, what was it that catalyzed your awakening? And what was that process like? If you don't mind sharing that. Because I think sometimes, we don't get transparent and vulnerable enough with our audience for them to really be able to identify with us and understand our journey and why we are the way we are. Because many times, most times, if not all the time, if you don't go through a circumstance that allows you to overcome it, you really can't afford someone a true insight and wisdom in getting through whatever crisis that they're. So if you don't mind providing the catalyst and the process to arrive to where you are.
Sure. And as a young kid, sport athlete, I was injured, facing paralysis, and altered my direction. But I was gonna do something with the talent that I was blessed with, which spiraled me into becoming more of course you go through all the cycles of anger and fear and then depression, right? And then those things created a feeling inside of me that why me? Why did this happen to me? Right? Why was my goal shifted or taken? Right? When I felt I was a good friend, felt I was a good son, felt I was a good sibling. And that's solely only where my success comes from. Nothing, no title, no material creates my identity. Right? Nothing material. And so, yes, I found myself creating challenges that I allowed the room that I was in to control my thoughts, actions, reactions, word choices, and decisions. And so, if I felt I used the vices that we all knew, drinking, smoking, hanging out in areas that most do not, doing things in that world that most do not in our community, but yet that becomes the focus of the stereotype of our community. And so that anger inside, and even as I always call myself, I've always been Sharif, but I'll be in the hood.
When it's inside,
Yes. and so that allowed me to experience a lot of things. Okay, that were negative.
Okay.
And then the ultimate shared trauma that we affected was my father was killed in a car accident. I was living in DC at that time and just had a daughter. And that's what felt. That's what the birth, the death, the death, the birth.
Wow.
And of course, the teachings, the leadership that my father instilled in us.
Yeah.
I never allowed my injury to slow me down.
Play football?
I played football.
Yeah.
And I would challenge, even in my injury, teaching basketball, outrun you, do all the things that the normal mindset. But however, it definitely shifted and changed. And I think that individually, we all have these traumatic experiences. And that's where I know we can find the commonality. One trauma is no bigger to that person than the next trauma. Some people are born without parents, some people are born into molestation and things of that nature. That does not elevate their trauma versus the trauma of the individual that's going through.
Right.
Because your trauma is at the height, my trauma is at the height.
So relative. It is.
Her trauma is at the height.
Yeah.
And that's the commonality.
Yeah.
Where we can't share differences to say, well, I got shot, I lost my dad, so mine is feel more as empathy for me.
Yeah.
Until you embrace that, how do you grow out of it?
Right.
When you allow it to define me.
Yeah.
I have had these traumatic experiences inside of my life, so therefore this is why.
Right.
And this is why I'm skeptical and not realizing skepticism is the beginning of learning.
It is. Doubt. Yeah. I had that doubt.
Correct. And then when you do not seek it,
yes.
When you do not open yourself to the access that it gives,
yes.
Then how do you know for certain that understanding that you carry cannot grow up?
That's beautiful.
And so we as people, we as a community, are all in some form of quicksand. It does not matter the race. It does not matter the financial elevation. Those that are wealthy are in the quicksand as well. They're condescending, they're entitled, in their homes, they're dysfunctional, drugs, alcohol,
whatever outlet they have.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
to compensate.
So that's where I shift to looking at when we don't want to have a discussion of color. I don't want to talk about color. Let's change or shift the perspective on how we talk about color or race. And I always say, who are the people of color? And then I always say, well, what color was the person that labeled the rest? And so since we don't want to call it color, let's create the word that expresses it best. Shades, tones,
phenotype. You get scientific with it, right?
But I like hues. Why? Why? Because we are all from that human.
Yeah.
Family.
What's up?
All groups fall prey to trauma.
Yeah. And Bob always said, every man's burden is the heaviest. And so we go through that. And something my mama told me going through my traumas, it's not what happens to you, but how you handle it, right? Because I think a lot of times when people go through their trauma, they just let that trauma consume them.
Correct.
As opposed to understand there's a refinement and an elevation that you're going to go through, right? So in that, talk about your process of elevating. When you talked about how you resorted to what you resorted to, what happened here and what happened here for you to respond as opposed to just react? What did you have to do?
At first I used the pray. I prayed a lot.
Okay.
And then second, I used prayer as well as continued reading on elevation. The impact of identity is so important. When you have knowledge of self, you're able to better navigate through the storm. As I continued into strengthening and understanding the brain and how to control it, most of us are left-sided, reactionary people, more so than the right side that lays ear to caution. And at first, it was left side for Jeff. Anything, it is what it is, more so than not. So when you look in the mirror, you embrace your realities, and then you start working on the things that you want. Meaning, in my profession, I'm 35 years in the automotive industry, and I've been in finance, management, all of those things. I'm also a licensed insurance agent, and so I am all about always educating or teaching people, giving people access to the information so they truly understand. I use that model on myself and didn't come outside until I was ready. And when I got ready, everyone was listening. And so when people stopped listening, I started writing. And so that has been my biggest thing. I was a single father, but I was fortunate to raise my daughter. And so hence impact of a father. And so those things kept me strong. Yeah. My father gone, I then got the ability to raise my daughter, and then wanted to elevate and found a career inside the automotive industry, which then allowed me to continue to maintain some stability within my mindset as far as my choices. And so as I then started to go, I am the problem, I am the reason. And then I started looking at my family and wanting to talk to them, and they're rejecting. Because anything you presented new was automatically rejected.
Wow, they were business.
Correct. And until one is willing to actually take on that journey themselves, they won't see. And so it's been incremental, but be better. My sister sent this to me the other day. I posted Be Better in 2010 on Facebook. So it's 2026. So that's 16 years. And then, of course, I opened myself to access. I go to Harlem, and I go to the museums, and I go to events with scholars, and then I see be on 125th and see some of the street scholars and my Captain Tazari, ISUPK, and all of those brothers. And so it just opened a big reading gap. And I think the biggest thing was I took my daughter to the Black Power Awards in New York, and I asked her to critique me. Because a lot of times we get critique and criticism mixed up. And I had my daughter critique me, and her critique of me hurt. I thought I gave her and did and all those things, and wasn't aware of some of the being a man raising a daughter. You ain't gonna speak fear, not knowing that I'm scaring her, but giving her, and so when you're able to accept that critique, that also is a life lesson. So any of you that have kids, I encourage, ask your kid to critique you. And then you have a response.
Right, receive it.
Ooh, yeah. See how you then will move out through the next day, how you respond. I didn't know you thought of me in that way. Here I am going to work, providing, supporting.
Right.
And so those little things. So those are the things that you need to focus on and try to actually improve and get better. There's steps to every process. So we want to become wealthy, but we don't know how. Financial literacy is so important. First, you have to gain the information to become financially literate. Once you're financially literate, that gives you the ability to create financial stability. When you're financially stable, you then have the ability to create financial freedom. If you're financially free, you only start generational wealth. And so these are the things that I want to try to implement, peeling back. That's why I say way before the identity, we have to identify the problem. And I feel these items inside the suit consistently around the world are the problems that we've been ingesting. And the vegetable stew that I'm trying to create is the information we've been rejecting. Critical thinking, history, psychology, literacy and financial, nature, health, science, and then that mirror. Holding yourself accountable for your thoughts, actions, reactions, words, choices, responses, and decisions.
Yeah, rich. So you an author, one book published?
One book working on, this is a series.
Yeah.
The second one is called The Maze.
Okay.
What's born out of the beginning.
Okay.
What is created. So now we have job versus career.
Okay.
Government versus business. So we have all of these things, and then we have that maze that we go through. Heartbreak, loss of life, loss of relationship. And are we really ready to change? Are we really ready to be disciplined? Most people are disciplined half of that, are only in one thing. Are you completely disciplined? And what does discipline mean to you? What does discipline mean to people? I'd love to discuss it because I think it takes way more consistent effort in every aspect of your being to become disciplined. Right. Not just in your spiritual, not just in your professional, not just in your family. When you have that trio full circle, then you'll be able to navigate. And so if I can teach people to stop competing against anyone else but themselves, if I can get people to understand that what they currently have is their current reality and they should appreciate what they have. Focus on what they need and work on to what they want. What they need to what they want. Because needs supersedes wants. I want to go to Africa. Right. I need to pay my mortgage. Prioritize.
Let me ask you this. Where's the book? What's the name of it one more time?
Walking in Quicksand.
Walking in Quicksand. So, what was the thought that birthed the book? Synopsis, and then why should people get it? The thought that birthed the book, give us a synopsis of the book, and then why should someone purchase Walking in Quicksand?
I don't know how something. I kept trying to find a title to a lot of my writing, but I write a lot. And then I started putting my writings together. Then I started saying it. And then I equated what is our real problem and then why are we slowing down? And maybe I saw something on TV and showed quicksand, and I said, man, walking in quicksand. Boom, and it became the thing. So the deal was to actually show us why we are, what we are, who we are, and why we do the things we do. Find out the actual reason, and then there are solutions that we could implement that actually will pull us out of that current state of quicksand that we're in. So I apply the things to myself. I do the 360. I use the SMART method. I mean, as far as how I move through life, the way that we transfer communication. I try to practice these things to be able to say it does work. And so why one should buy it, because it's self-identifying. I think I want people to look at the way I wrote it as in to look at themselves in the mirror. Why do we go from 0 to 60 in less than 30 seconds? Why do words matter? I've gotten where you use a lot of big words, and I go, well, I use more formal words than informal.
Yeah,
because there's no such thing as a big word.
Right, I get that a lot. I got a vocabulary.
Yeah, which is sometimes offensive.
It can be.
Yeah, to a degree.
Right.
So it is a life journey that a window that I jumped into not knowing what to expect. When I wrote this book, I wanted to open up a discussion. Whether it's I see it all around me, whether it's in my home, whether it's in the church home, whether it's in the business life, and I want to have these substantive conversations. And I thought walking in quicksand was kind of something that might make somebody go, what does that mean?
Right.
Walking,
it leaves a lot open, like,
what does that mean?
Yeah.
And so, that's why this is a blessing to be able to actually describe what I'm wanting to present. And the quicksand is the invisible barriers that slow us down. Okay. If you stay in it, you will sink. And if you seek out, you can possibly rise, and you will see improvement in yourself as well as in your family that will spread out to our community.
That's awesome. I'm thinking it's May 5th. I'm gonna make sure, that's what I'm checking the date. Make sure the first Sunday is May 5. I believe it is. No, May 3rd. So May 3rd. On May 3rd, people come to 4301 East 43rd Street, Vineyard Neighborhood Association. What can attendees expect coming to there without giving everything away about what the actual presentation is going to be about? But what can people who are attending expect to experience on May 3rd at the Vineyard Neighborhood Association?
I would hope that I spark the interest. I am the one match that I'm throwing into the fire to create an atmosphere of intellectual, high level in discussion.
Okay.
That ultimately will just propel us to work together, interdependently. I'm stronger with you than without you. Ubuntu.
I am because we are.
I am because we are.
Yeah.
And if we learn that, we then can go and then reel in some of our communities that are out of control. We can then go in and be the example of those that are challenged, the fatherless families, the dysfunctional mothers, the kids that are uncontrollable.
Right.
In one moment. Right. We have to hone in on being better listeners as adults. If we can, because there's an art to listen. Most people hear just to respond. They don't listen to shout and understand. And they take access so they can get understanding to deliver a better response. So
Access.
yes. And so what I want is that to start the round tables of the think tank that I love to create, that then creates the idea that all these communities can take advantage of.
That's correct. So I want to go back to something you said earlier, because I asked you if idea is the goal. You said that's something we actually do become. But in becoming that, are you saying also that there's an idea that we need to actually mold ourselves according to? Is there some sort of standard idea that you're saying that we should actually aspire to attain? Or are you saying that in just us becoming an idea is just what happens in life?
Well, I think in first to understand the ideology, of course, when we're born, we're human. than an ethnicity. Right? That ethnicity creates that culture. That culture creates that nationality. That nationality creates that lineage. Right? And then, of course, we become the ideology.
Throw the gender in there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So as you move up that ladder, meaning from 0 to 10, I mean, I went to church at birth. I didn't know I was Christian until I could understand it myself.
Right. You had to acknowledge, access, and understand.
And so, and that's it. Whether you,
No, that's real.
You know, any.
I love
You know,
it.
so
it.
it's a collection of there's modes of survival, modes of living. Take bits and pieces to create that new curriculum that needs to be implemented into our system.
Yeah.
So I don't have the word that we need to develop something new, because this is something we know. We just don't take our time.
So that's culture. That's where our historical ancestral culture comes into play. I would argue that.
Okay.
And we can access that, acknowledge and access that, and understand our trajectory in life, right? Because it's like, you know, the principle of saying Kauffman.
Okay.
You mean with that, right?
I am.
So going back to fetch who we were, understand who we are and where we are to get to where we're supposed to go. It's like it focuses us. You know, it's like a lens that focuses our whole vision, that we can see who we are and what we're supposed to do.
I agree. I mean, 100%. I mean, and so we're all in line, and we all have different ways of maybe arriving at. That's why the discussion is so necessary.
Think tank.
The think
That's so
tanks
crucial.
that allow us to come together to create consensus.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
when you have that shared idea, I have that shared idea, she has that shared idea.
Just refine it.
We're refining the curriculum.
Yep.
To pull us out.
I love that.
So it's not just Jeff. It's not just be better, but I want you to be better.
Right.
In any and everything you do.
Wow. That's powerful. So let's talk about Be Better real quick. You have a foundation, you said you had?
I am creating the Be Better Empowerment Group think tank.
Okay.
The analogy is to where are the programs that are teaching young boys how to tie ties, or young girls how to sew, taking these young kids to museums and leadership conferences and science fairs, creating exposure to difference consistently. We can go golfing, we can go mountain biking, mountain climbing, and scuba diving, and most important, I'd love people to get reacquainted with the library, and that creates that brain, because there's 3 ways we think. And most of us, as the title is, walking in quicksand, neck up, not neck down. Instinctively and emotionally are the majority of our thought process. We have the ability to think cognitively, and most of us react, right? Versus logically thinking. Yeah. And so, that's when we end up with the consequences that are great. You know, we can go into the juvenile system and the prison system and ask them how many seconds. A breath. Now I got 30 years for that reaction that I did. But now everybody is affected. My family, my friends, my community, because I'm absent. Based on the choice I made, could have, should have, and had the ability to, but didn't know how to unlock it.
So let's wrap this up, right? What would you want our listeners to know about just your whole mission and vision? Like, if you could wrap up and give a word of wisdom from Be Better, right? What is a word that you would want our audience today to understand and take away from this particular incident that happened?
Self-reflection. In my slogan, I say, change the way you look at things, and the things that you look at will change. The problem is in the mirror. Good news, turn around. So is the answer. Because we never live the same day twice. Isn't it evil to live backwards when you want to live in the same world? If you knew better, you would do better. So just do it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. How can people get in touch with Jeff Bowlin?
My social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, Jeffrey Bowlin.
No G.
No G. I am retooling my website, and that would be www.bbetta.net. And of course, I'm a phone call away at any given moment. So my goal is to be a part to help any group, any institution, any club, any just to be a part of how we can help grow our mindset to become better people.
Right. Oh, thank you, brother.
Man.
Yeah. So we got May 3rd at 4301 East 43rd Street, the Vineyard Neighborhood Association, first Sundays in the Vineyard. Shifting Paradigm presents Walking in Quicksand with my brother Jeff Bowlin. Starts at 4 p.m. We have some light refreshments, and we're gonna have a whole bunch of fellowship and conversation. So come on through, build with the community. Let's get this consensus building up, and get this think takers out. I like that idea. We need that. I've been talking about that. We need that. So yeah, come on through and support. We go forward from there. Be Michael, aka Mikael, signing off. Shalom, shalom.
Hey.
I'm gonna keep it recording. I'm gonna they have some outtakes and stuff like that, but that's rich, man. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share this. She's been an integral part of it. Allowed me to do some of the things that I've been able to do. This has just been I feel I've always. I can remember watching Eyes on the Prize in the 5th grade with my school teacher, Mr. Jackson, and crying and seeing those kinds of things. So those kinds of things compelled me.
Right.
And it just has led me on a path of always correction. Always. I am a forever learner. Humility is my compass. I feel I have a myriad of things to say. I have a study methodology. I put things in place, with science, biology, with its history, and add those things and thoroughly study, not just from one source. I use a lot of sources. Even in my young 30s, thought I was going to become a pastor. As I got older, then I studied a lot of things, pretty much all of it. I've been to the Bible Museum. You had an opportunity to
Where that at?
It's in DC. I would encourage you.
Okay.
I have most of them. I have the Septuagint, the ball gate, the the 5 baskets, the Egypt Book of the Dead, the Dead Sea Scrolls,
All that.
and I read these books and studied these books and have had privilege to study these books. Most people that practice don't even read what they have only until their toes are turned to, and so that created when you look at Islam, the Israelites, the Galatians, the Christians, the different denominations, and so
Even in the Hinduism,
and that's where I feel that these are some of the because we have so many subcultures that have been created inside of one big umbrella. Right. We have religious faith, and then we have all kinds of different lifestyles inside of our culture. And we have always used these mechanisms to grow. Being in the retail world and dealing with different groups of people, all the time, I've seen, like say, the European business model starts with business in the middle. That businesses allows them to create food, clothing, shelter, safety and security, health, and agriculture, and what, where we actually have placed the church in the middle, which doesn't actually produce jobs and food, just little pantries and things of that nature. And so there's not a business structure that would rely on to catapult this into
Right.
So land owning to me is land. Yeah. A lot of people say they own businesses, but do they own the building or the land that it is on? Right. And if once they do that,
that's all.
So these are the things, some of the things that we can further grab into and supporting each other in a way that affects. We're the biggest consumers in America.
Almost in the world, but we top 10.
Yeah. And so all we do is hit, and then get right back, and then wonder why we think we're hit. And so we want to, there's like on the finance world, will you invest? I'm gonna do that. Well, why not get some of your money back on your return if you're buying Nike, Gucci, Yahoo. My boy says, hey, I gotta show you, I got Gucci. I don't. Right. I've been out of the league for 20 years, and then we wonder why. And so it's baby steps, but also it's something that we know. All of this is, I think, I want it to be simplistic, and then also I wanted it to be attractive. And I think that in the right arenas and having the right ways of processing, I think that we can all come together and create real unity.